Welcome to Hollywood Approved with Kristen and Yael. Each episode is an exploration of taste as we dive into the good, the bad, and the unexpected in TV and movies. Tune in for the celebrity guests, stay for the surprising recommendations. Plus, we're getting creative with modernizations and fan casting some of our favorites. This is Hollywood Approved.
I pushed the wrong button.
Hey, it's a live show. That's how they know it's live.
Yep. Awesome. Hello, welcome. We don't have a guest today, so we'll just jump into what we're watching.
Yeah.
Kristen, what is the last thing you watched?
The last thing I watched was Diary of a Future President Season 2, which actually just came out today. And it's so good. Oh my gosh. Like, I really enjoyed the first season, and I feel like they just dive deeper into this family even more in the second season. You're basically following this girl who's gonna like ultimately be the president in the future, but you're seeing her as like a seventh grader trying to like figure things out, getting her first kiss, trying to navigate life with her, with her mom. Her brother has this really great storyline of like trying to figure out who he is and use his voice, and even the parents have their own storylines. And it was just like so well done. And I think that they tackle a lot of these topics, like trying to figure out who you are and like coming out and things like that in a really like beautiful way. Especially when it comes to the family and how like, as you sort of get older, like, do you really want your parents around? But then it's like, but your parents are people too. And like, actually you'll always need your parents kind of thing, even if they like kind of let you fly on your own, So I just think it's a really beautiful show. It kind of gives me vibes of like Everybody Hates Chris or something like that, where it's like this family all together, you're getting like a nice little message, but it's also just like fun for everybody.
Yeah. I've heard great things about the show. It's on Disney Plus, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. How does it feel on Disney Plus?
It feels good. I was surprised actually that the whole season dropped today. For some reason, I thought that they were going to do like a weekly, because isn't that what they do on Disney Plus usually?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole season's out, so binge the whole thing so that we could get a season 3, because I need to know. There's a big cliffhanger. I need to know like what happens next.
Awesome. Well, I watched the movie Coda, which is a child of a deaf adult. This movie is getting a lot of attention right now. It is on Apple TV Plus, and it stars a bunch of people. The names you will know is just Marlee Matlin, but the rest of the cast is pretty amazing. The main girl was actually, I believe, on Lock and Key. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that, and I was like, that's why she seems familiar. And then the guy who plays her brother was on Switched at Birth with Marlee Matlin, and it's a really good movie. It's beautiful. I cried a lot. It's really like beautiful, and it's a family story, and it's, I think, relatable or understandable at least to anyone, whether you are deaf or part of the deaf community or have deaf parents or not at all. If you're all hearing, it's interesting and beautiful. And I grew up, I studied sign language for a while and then was going to be an interpreter, and ended up not doing that and going a completely different direction. So I'm always, fascinated by deaf culture, and to see this movie really portray it in such a way that has, I feel like, not been seen is really amazing and wonderful. And I recommend watching it. I cried.
Yeah, I saw it at Sundance, and that was the movie that like everyone was talking about and was like, it got picked up by Apple TV Plus. It's going to be, a really, really big movie. And like you said, like at first I didn't realize I knew anybody in it. And then I was like, oh, the girl from Lock and Key, oh, the people from Switched at Birth. Like, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Like it's a kind of movie that I would love, because it's also sort of got that young adult vibe to it.
Yes.
Which I think is, great, because then it opens that whole community up to, a younger audience to like learn about. It was just so good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was excited to see it, but was not prepared to cry. I just wasn't prepared to cry, and I cried a lot. And it's a really beautiful family story.
Absolutely. Now, Yael, what show or movie did you just discover?
Okay, so I just discovered that there are new episodes of Grace and Frankie. I didn't just discover the show, but I did discover that they, over the weekend, surprised the audience with 4 episodes. I'm so happy. They're great. I miss this show so much. And I understand this show being careful. The entire cast is old. Like, we're in a pandemic and they are very high risk. So I understand that the show has been delayed, but I really appreciate that they gave us 4 episodes. For those who haven't watched it, it's about 2 old women who find out that their husbands were having an affair with each other. And so now these 2 women who don't like each other and don't really get along are really the only people they know who can understand what they're going through, and they become best friends. And it's actually a fantastic show.
Oh my God. So these 4 episodes, is it like just like here you go, this is like a little bit of a season, or is it just like how does it play into how they formatted the show?
Yeah, it's the first 4 episodes of the 7th season.
So they're gonna maybe be doing it in parts because of COVID.
Yeah, I just am so grateful that they released these. And it was a surprise, and they just announced it randomly. And they did a full previously on, which is so appreciated because I feel like it's been 2 years since we've had episodes. Yeah, what did you just discover?
Okay, so I just discovered the show called AlRawabi School for Girls. It's Netflix's second Arabic language series. Their first one, The Jinn, was not very well received, but I gotta say this was really, really good. It's about like these girls who are bullied at this prestigious all-girls school, and they decide to take down their tormentors, and it's just like, it gets dark. It gets dark. I think it was filmed beautifully. I was just really impressed. And then, the way that it ends, like, I would say that the whole show is a little bit of like a dark comedy at times, but it ends in a very dark place. And I think, some of it, I think, just really showed like the Arabic culture, because there were some things that maybe I didn't think were that big of a deal, but that would probably be a big deal in that country. And so it's just interesting to see a different perspective. And there were some things that were just like really intense. Like the whole first episode is this girl getting beat the crap out of like really badly. So, but it's one of those like teen shows that I think, really shows the culture, but also, it is relatable to other audiences as well. And I was like addicted. I like started an episode and I was like, I cannot stop. Like, this is really good. And I think it's always great that like, I feel like Netflix has opened me up to watching things from other backgrounds and different languages that, maybe I wouldn't have been familiar with. And so I just thought that was really cool that like, we got this like very interesting, teen girl centric Arabic show that like dives into all these like hot topics that young girls deal with there and also around the world.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Where does it take place?
I think they filmed it in Jordan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And it's only 1 season so far?
Yeah, only 1 season so far. I mean, I'm not sure if it's a limited series or not, but like the way it ends, like they could do more, but also like it definitely tells a complete story where you're like, oh crap, like the girl that's trying to get her revenge, she goes there, and you sort of even start to feel for like the bad girls, but like the girl who was bullied, she doesn't care. She's going for it.
All right, I will have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your comfort show or movie?
My comfort show or movie? It's a movie. It's the Cheetah Girls. Woo, Cheetah! I love the Cheetah Girls. All 3 movies are really wonderful. I mean, the second one we all know is superior, but like people hate on One World, but it's still good. Like they got good music, even though Raymond's not in it. But I just love that. We have this trilogy of movies about young, women of color trying to make it in the music industry, about their friendship. I mean, at times, like, I feel like every single movie they're like, oh, we're not friends anymore. Oh, no, wait, we're back. Like there's always something that's breaking up their friendship. But the music is incredible. And I've just like been in that like mindset of like nostalgia lately. So like I've been listening to the music. I'm like, I wanna go back and rewatch all the Cheetah Girls movies. I think I did that last year, and it was so fun. Really, like if you're like, what's a sequel that's superior? Cheetah Girls 2, man. That is one that just incredible.
All right. I like that.
Yeah. What about you?
My comfort is actually a series of movies. It is the Shreks.
Yes.
I will say all four. I am so excited for Shrek 5. Like,
Is that really coming?
yeah, the Shreks are so great. And here's why. The first one has a really great message about this princess who realizes that, like, being an ogre is not the worst thing in the world. It is what's on the inside that matters. And I think that's so beautiful in a like classic fairy tale story. In that, like, she waited to be rescued, and then we see her kick butt. Like, she didn't actually need to be rescued, but she was told that she should. So, like, there's a really great message in the first one, at least, and then they're just fun after that. I think that each one, tells its own silly story, and they all connect really nicely. And they're just so fun, and all the references are good. If you liked in BoJack, if you liked the like background puns that are like filling the scenes of BoJack Horseman on Netflix, then you will enjoy at least Shrek 2, where like they go into far, far away and it's clearly like LA, and there's all these really great references. It's just fun and silly and campy, and like there's, it's like a warm blanket.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so good.
Now I want to watch all of them because I think I might have only seen at least the first two. I mean, definitely the first one, but I don't know if I've seen like all of them.
Girl,
Because they have
there's
little
so
babies, right?
many.
Little ogre babies and stuff.
Yes.
They have a whole family.
Yeah, so in the first one they meet, in the second one they meet her family, and then in the third one they find out that she's pregnant, and then the fourth one um it's like a do-over because he's struggling with having three babies.
Oh my goodness. So what do you think the fifth one would be about?
I'm assuming the babies are older.
Maybe they're like kids going to school and trying to like figure out life or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so excited for the fifth one.
While I haven't watched all of them, I do love Shrek the musical. Have you seen it?
No. I didn't like the look of Shrek in the musical.
It's so good. It was literally the first Broadway show that I cried during because I cried like twice. I just thought it was so beautifully done, and it's so funny. Like, it really keeps the like humor of the first movie. And then and it's on streaming now. I think it's on Netflix, maybe. Like, you can watch the actual Broadway musical, like the stage production. So highly recommend.
I guess I'll check that out after I watch all four Shreks again.
Yeah.
They're on TV all the time. And if it's on TV, I'll be like, well, I guess I'll watch this.
Yeah, gotta watch Shrek again.
What's great is it'll be like a marathon. So I'll be watching it, and then it'll end, and I'll be like, I wonder what's next. Oh, number 2.
I love that. I love that. They know what's up. They're like, you just want to see the whole thing in a row.
You do.
Why not? So what's the most surprising show that you didn't love?
Honestly, I was shocked at this as well. I think the world is shocked. I did not love Jupiter's Legacy. I love superheroes. I love the idea of what is a superhero really like in the real world. And this show was too slow for me. The fact that we did not find out how they got their powers till the last episode like killed me. There was more that could have been done with it. Also, like at the end of the season, they introduced a really amazing character for an episode, maybe 2, and then killed her. Like, it's just such a waste.
I'm glad I didn't try then. I think I got like 10 minutes into the first episode and was like, I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah, it was hard to sit through, but I powered through the whole thing, and I was disappointed, and then it didn't get renewed. So, there's that. What about you? What is the most surprising show or movie you didn't love?
Mine would be The Irregulars, which was, I love like a supernatural mystery situation, and this is like a bunch of misfits that kind of have like little powers, and they are working with Sherlock Holmes and like Watson, and they're like discovering and figuring out all these supernatural crimes in Victorian London, and it just sounded like something that I would enjoy. And it was such a struggle to get through. I remember there was, I think, one episode that was like really interesting, and then they like didn't do anything else with that, and then they went on to like all these other things that like I didn't care about, and I don't even know how I got through the whole thing. And I feel like a little bit of it is like blocked from my memory because it was like, this wasn't it. I think especially when you have like really cool other mysteries going on, like Enola Holmes and stuff that also dive into like that Sherlock Holmes universe. It's like, come on, you got to give us something a little bit more exciting than like, these misfits who like are sort of solving these mysteries that like nobody really is caring about,
Yeah, I gave it one episode and I was like, this isn't for me. Like the drama, the like teen angsty drama of these kids didn't appeal to me. There wasn't enough powers or magic to appeal to me. The mystery wasn't that mysterious. Like it just wasn't. It had a lot of ideas, but never like dove into any of them really.
Yeah, and even like thinking back on it now, like it's so vague to me. Like I don't even really remember it that well. Like
Right.
I watched it like not that long ago. Like I feel like it just was not very memorable.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it's been picked up. I think it got canceled right after it premiered. So,
That's funny.
Yeah, which I think is actually like kind of impressive because I feel like for a little while Netflix was just like renewing anything.
Yeah.
And then like it would get a second season, the second season would be incredible, and then it would cancel it, and I'd be like, really? Like
that sounds right.
Yeah. Now I'm just waiting for that Julie and the Phantoms renewal. Where is that?
Yeah. Where is that? All right, well, let's get to our fan casting segment. If you're new here, we like to fan cast and modernize classics. And so today we picked The Breakfast Club.
Which I gotta say, I like the idea of a Breakfast Club storyline. Like I love when they do a Breakfast Club episode in like TV shows, but the actual Breakfast Club, I don't get it. And like I feel like I don't know. I just don't get it. Like I feel like nothing really happens. I feel like as an episode of a TV show, it's fun.
That's so interesting.
But like the actual movie, like why are they even called The Breakfast Club? They didn't even eat breakfast.
Yeah, that I don't know.
They've been there the whole day.
Yeah.
Maybe the Detention Club, Saturday Detention. I don't know.
You make really good points. Let's cast this. We realized as we were going through this that we were not familiar with their names because they were known as their clique. So we're going to start with Andrew Clark, who is the jock. Who do you have for the jock?
Okay, so for the jock, I went with China Anne McClain, who you might know from The Descendants. You might know from Black Lightning. I just feel like she's so cool that, like, I don't know. I just think that she could have played any of these roles. But I wanted to go with the jock. And also just for my like theme, I just went with all women of color because I wanted to do that. That's what this Breakfast Club is. It's just all women of color.
I appreciate that so much. I also went different because I was like, what we don't need is an entire movie of all white people. Because that seems odd. So I went actually with someone who plays a jock on something else. I went with Darren Barnett.
Ooh, that's good.
From Never Have I Ever. I feel like he'd be a good jock. He plays a jock and he's got that good looks. He feels right for it.
Yeah. Who did you do for the princess?
For the princess, I really wanted to change things up. As we know, I like to put plus size characters and things specifically in the traditionally attractive role. So I went with Poonam Patel, whom I know from Special.
I love her.
She's so funny. She does have that like almost Valley Girl vibe to her. And on Special, she just like you see her dressed so beautifully that I think she could be that princess. Yeah.
I agree. And I literally have been thinking about her in my head for so long, but my casting, the ages, it didn't work for this. So I was like, I'm going to save her for something else. But like, I love her so much. And I just want to like see her lead her own show or like her own movie or something.
Yeah. And I think honestly, so mine, I guess, because, you know, it's high school, their ages can range a little bit. So she would be like a senior, which would make sense. I guess Darren, who would be Andrew, would be like a junior. Yeah, I'll tell you the rest of their grades as we go.
Okay.
Yeah, who do you have for our basket case, Allison Reynolds?
Oh, wait, I didn't do the princess yet.
Oh, right, princess, sorry.
I have Zion Moreno, who is from Gossip Girl. You know, I just feel like she has that vibe, that princessy vibe about her, even in Gossip Girl, like that kind of like influencery vibe. She's also a transgender actress, so I wanted to like, you know, just give her shine. And I when I was watching Gossip Girl, like I feel like that role that she plays in that could easily be this.
Yeah, it's hard. We tend to like to cast people in roles that we haven't seen them in, but I feel like for this one, you know, with my jock was he clearly played a jock and something else, and she clearly played a princess and something else. It's hard for this one because it is the like archetypes, you know.
Yeah, the stereotype. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now who do you have for your basket case?
For the basket case, I have Kiana Madeira, who was in Trinkets, who was in Fear Street. I just feel like, again, this is sort of like a role that I've seen her in a little bit before, although I could see her in some of these other roles as well. But I feel like this role just, I don't know, she came to my mind. I feel like she does a good job with like sometimes like a little bit like a heavier role, I guess. Like in Fear Street. And so I was getting those vibes, and I think that she would do well.
I like that a lot.
Who do you have?
I wanted someone who is going to make this role bigger, because I feel like this role was kind of small and like not meek. Maybe, you know, there's the part where she like hides in her hood, and I want this character to be bigger. So I went with Aquafina.
Ooh, I could see that.
I love her. I just was watching her and stuff, and I'm really into her right now. So I want her in everything.
She's so, it's so funny to me because like, you know, I remember like her on Girl Code, you know, like back in the day on MTV, and then to see her career now, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
like she really like blew up. It's just like incredible.
Yeah, 100%. All right, next we have our nerd or geek. Brian Johnson was his name.
I did not know that was his name. I didn't even know that.
Forgot all of their names. Who did you have for the geek?
For the geek, I had Angelica Washington, who I think, first of all, I feel like I've seen her in the role of the geek, the role of, you know, the princess, the role of the jock, and a bunch of the different things she's done, from Moxie to Tall Girl to Stargirl. You know, and really though, I feel like in some of her other projects like Moxie and Tall Girl, she's always kind of like on the side, or like the side best friend, and like I just really want to see her shine. So that's why I cast her as a nerd, and hopefully, or the geek, and hopefully, you know, in this iteration, she's got more to do, more shine, more screen time, and it's not just like chilling on the side, you know.
Yes. I would like to see more of her. I think she's one of my favorite parts of Stargirl. She's very good. And so I really like that idea.
Yeah, we just need to give her more.
Yeah, absolutely. I realized that I didn't grab the photo for mine, so give me 1 second. My answer for who I would put for the geek or nerd, again, it's someone we've seen do it. I went with Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. I just feel like he would be really good at it. So like he would be one of the freshmen and Aquafina again would have been one of the seniors, and it just, you know, because it's high school, so they can be a range of ages.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like he does the nerd very well, but more recent photos have shown that this boy is clearly a model.
So maybe he could be the jock too.
Yeah, he's like growing. Yeah, he's growing into a model-esque face. But if he was still young, I would be like, he's the nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Rounding out our breakfast club, we have Bender, the criminal, John Bender.
So I went with Whitney Peak, who is also on Gossip Girl. And I feel like on Gossip Girl, her role is a little bit edgier. You know, like she's kind of the one that's like, you know, into, I don't know, into like the protesting and into like the, you know, well, there's like a whole little scandal around her that everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, what did she do? And I felt like when that was going on, you know, she kind of gave a little bit of vibes of like, oh, like, what's going on here? A little bit mysterious. So I feel like she could be interesting as the criminal.
All right. I love that you keep bringing people I'm not familiar with.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Then you can meet them, be introduced to them.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was thinking more a little bit like an edgier version of like, you know, an edgier kind of character, you know, for her. I think it would be a little bit of a stretch, but in a good way.
I love that. I also have a female John Bender for this one. Joan Bender, perhaps. The criminal. I went with Fievel Stewart from Atypical. Because she can do that bad girl thing, you know? And I like the idea she would also be like a little bit younger than the others. She'd be like a freshman. I think that would be an interesting take on this character who like is just getting there and is already, everyone assumes this about them. I think that's so interesting.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's our casting. Oh wait, I have one more.
One more?
I decided to cast the principal.
Oh no, I didn't cast the principal.
That's okay. I decided that I was going to cast the principal, and I went with Randall Park.
Oh, nice.
Because I feel like it would make the film more entertaining and more funny.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I put so many people that are like comedy actors that I think it would be fun to have Randall Park as the principal, because he can do the like, you know, stern dude, but in a nice, funny way.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's funny. So you have like a lot of like the comedy aspect. I feel like I went like dark teen film, you know, like young.
Put it together and you get the Breakfast Club.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
All right. So if anyone watching this wants to tell us who they would cast in a modern reboot of The Breakfast Club, let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's it for today's show.
We did it.
We did do it. We should have guests the next couple of weeks, so be sure to tune in. And of course, you can check out our previous episodes and the other shows here on the Hollywood Critics Association.
Yes. So Yael, where can people find you?
Great question. I am everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. You can find me here on Wednesdays. On Sundays, I talk about Law and Order Special Victims Unit, the greatest show of all time, on the Law and Order S Review podcast. I also host the official Leverage Redemption After Show, a very distinctive podcast on Electric Now. New episodes drop on Saturdays and air Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you've checked out Leverage Redemption on IMDb, head over to Electric Now. It's a free app, and you can watch the after show. Kristen, what about you? Where are you up to these days?
These days, I got a lot of interviews going on, which is nice. You can check those out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/kmaldo, KAYMALDO. You can find me at kmaldo on Twitter, Facebook, @1. I'm on Instagram. And then I also host a podcast all about, you know, representation and inclusion in Hollywood called Pop Culture Planet. And we actually recently celebrated 1 year. So Exciting.
Yay!
Yeah, and that's where you can find me. And thank you, everyone who watched. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Fancast with us. Tell us what you're watching. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.